Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Ich warte seit Wochen auf diesen Tag und tanz vor Freude über den Asphalt. Als wär's ein Rhythmus, als gäb's ein Lied, das mich immer weiter durch die Straßen zieht. Komm dir entgegen.
Hello and welcome to Gegenpressing, the Bundesliga podcast. I'm Manu he's Stefan Biankowski. And Stefan, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad at all. Pretty crazy week for us. Not just German football fans or German football, but just football in general. Feels like half the proposed deals for this summer have been done in the last 2 or 3 days. So keeping us on our toes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think yesterday, that was all yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. We were recording this on a Thursday. So yesterday was Wednesday. We had a nice, relaxed start. There was some rumors about Messi, so I wrote a little bit about that. And I think then we had something on McAllister, and then that seemed like it was a done deal. And then all of a sudden it was like bang, bang, bang. Bellingham was announced. The Messi rumors started heating up. That was then announced. And I kind of feel bad for Liverpool who had to wait till today, because I'm pretty sure they were proposing to announce everything yesterday as well. And with everything else going on, we're like, well, we should probably wait. So
yeah, not to mention poor West Ham, who won a European trophy, and they just got completely overshadowed.
They won something. What I do know is that Declan Rice is a transfer target, but
sources have told me that you were sitting in the pub cheering West Ham on. That's what I heard.
What was that?
No, but I can't reveal my sources, obviously.
What is true is that there was a round of betting, and I actually did say that West Ham was going to win. My tip was 2-0 for West Ham. Almost close. I also want to add though that I wanted Fiorentina to win, but I am realistic enough to know when the team is better than another one. So yeah, but I think, you know what, we will probably mention Declan Rice at some point during the show, because this is the show about Jude Bellingham, and that is probably would have been the biggest deal of this week if a certain Lionel Messi hadn't joined Inter Miami. But in its entirety, and I think in terms of maybe future impact, this could be the most interesting transfer of the summer. And Stefan, we need to break it down, right? It was Dortmund, and I think your newsletter really described this really well. You wrote a newsletter on Bellingham and what it means for Borussia Dortmund, and we'll go and get into that, because I think it's really quite fascinating. But I think what is really fascinating about this deal in particular is that Dortmund announced this on the stock exchange, right? As you framed, put together by their legal team in the most unemotional manner possible. And the deal is 103 million euros straight up, right? Which seems low. But then when you include all the add-ons, it grows to just over 130 million euros. Add-ons are always a little tricky, right? Because they break down into easy to reach, not so easy to reach, and hard to reach. The easy to reach are without knowing what they are, but they're usually something like has played 25 goals in La Liga, games in La Liga, has scored 15 goals in La Liga, has won a title in La Liga. Then there's the a little bit harder ones, which is like has won a Champions League, has played 50 games in the Champions League, that sort of stuff. And then the really hard ones are usually like has won a Ballon d'Or, right? That's usually what those add-ons, how they come down to. It is pretty close to, I think, when you break it all down. And I think, what was it, 4th biggest transfer, if all add-ons are reached, and 14th biggest in the history for 19. I mean, we're talking about a 19-year-old player here. It's a little short, I think, of what many expected, but I think it is right in there where Bellingham's worth sits when you break it all down at the end of the day.
But crazily enough, still not quite as much as Barcelona ended up paying for Ousmane Dembele, which again, just I mean, the poor guy probably doesn't need any more shade thrown at him after what he's gone through at Barcelona, but
Yeah.
it really kind of puts that deal into perspective when you think about it, which was, 6-7 years ago now. So, yeah, look, it's probably more or less what we were expecting. I tweeted at the time, I think David Ornstein kind of tweeted out the news, and he quoted the €100 million figure, and not to suggest that he wasn't right or he didn't know what he was talking about, of course, far from it. But I did kind of say, like, that doesn't seem quite right if it's just €100 million, because it's well off what Dortmund had been saying for some time that they wanted for the players. So yeah, let's be honest, when it comes to Real Madrid, these add-ons are almost certainly going to be met. There'll be clauses about winning the league title or getting to a Champions League final. There might even be further ones beyond that in terms of, if he wins the Ballon d'Or, for example, which might not even be included in this deal. So we never know if it could eventually maybe reach 150. But even if it tops out 135, I think it's still a very good price for him, because, it's easy to kind of get drawn up in the buzz around Bellingham. We watch him week in, week out. We know exactly, how impressive he is, how much talent he has, how much potential he has. But, we're not talking about, I'm trying to think of, like, probably the most proven player in the world right now, or the most, like, kind of, well, you know what, I'll go ahead and say it. It's not like buying Harry Kane. And what I mean by that is, it's not a player who's done it for the last 7 or 8 seasons. It's not a player who will guarantee you.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.